You watch a film and you see them. You read a book and you see them. You scroll your feed, something interesting catches your eye, and there they are again, the words that you don't know. It's annoying. It makes you feel helpless. I mean, you've been learning English for quite a while now, haven't you? But the further you go, the more it seems like you know nothing. I have been there with my English. I am right now there with my Spanish. And my German, well, just trust me, I feel you. But hey, right now you have a choice. To either keep beating yourself up for not expanding your vocabulary, or watch my video till the end to learn helpful techniques and approaches to memorizing words, and to receive a list of helpful resources to make your learning process simpler and just more fun. The most important, yet one of the most difficult things you need to do first is to change the way you think about English and learning it. It's a common mistake English learners make. Not only English, any other language suffers from being treated this way. Let me show you. This is you. And this is your life, which includes interests, hobbies, work, YouTube videos, scrolling your feed, and this over here, as far from your real life as possible, is where you prefer to keep your English. It feels like something odd or even alien to your life. Something that you will use, maybe, one day, when the time is right. Have you ever kept silent in the work meeting, even though you had something to say? Have you ever been terrified to take on a project which meant communicating in English? Have you ever skipped an interesting article or video because it was in English and you thought your English was not ready to be used yet? If yes, that happened exactly because you didn't, or maybe you still don't, see English as a part of your life. It's that weird thing sitting in the corner of your consciousness. The reasonable question here is, what can I do to change that? Let me show you. This is you. This is your life, which includes your interests, hobbies, work, work, videos on YouTube, social media interaction, and this, in the same space and on an equal basis, is your English. Do you see what I mean? You need English for your work? Well, incorporate English in your work life, which means reading interesting articles in English if necessary, taking part in the meetings and speaking up there. You like painting, cooking, gardening, playing music, riding a motorcycle. So incorporate English in doing the hobby of yours or learning something about it. Don't ignore the information on this topic if this information happens to be in English. Watch tutorials in English. Listen to English-speaking bloggers. Watch interviews with your favorite actors or musicians in English. You are great at planning and making to-do lists. I have an idea for you. Why don't you make your next plan for the day in English? So you will actually learn how to say and write in English about everything you do. What will it give you? The context. Not just any context, but exactly the context you live in, the one that is interesting to you, which, in turn, will make the whole process of learning English easier and more pleasant, as you will be learning about your life, basically. Now that you have incorporated learning English into your daily life, you will face a great deal of new words and phrases. The first thing that you need to do is to stop freaking out because of this. Nobody knows everything. You and I and even native speakers will always come across unfamiliar vocabulary. Just think about your native language. Have you ever looked at the object and thought, what the heck is it called? See? So please, just stop pushing yourself. and start enjoying the process of learning and notice finally the progress that you make. Okay, motivational speech is over. Let's get down to practical stuff. There is a great many ways to learn new words. I want to speak about the ones I prefer as a teacher and as a learner. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for learning new vocabulary. Flashcards. Flashcards are fantastic for active engagement, making it easier to review and recall new words regularly. You can use traditional paper flashcards or go digital with different apps. I will talk about them a little bit later. Here is how it works. On one side of the flashcard, write a new word. These are my flashcards to learn German. On this side, I will write the new word ausfüllen. I need a white pen. Now, that's better. Ausfüllen. And on the other side, I will write a translation on English and the example sentence. Ausfüllen means to fill out. For example, ich muss das Formular ausfüllen, but there is not enough space here. You may even make a small drawing or an association to help you learn the new word. With the digital flashcards, you get the added benefit of portability. So next time you are bored while waiting for somebody or something, take this chance to practice your vocabulary rather than scroll your Instagram feed. Apps use algorithms to show you words just before you are about to forget them, which significantly boosts your retention. A student of mine has recently discovered this app to learn vocabulary and shared it with me. The app's name is DuoCards. Do I need to tell you it is not sponsored? Well, because it is not. I just decided to give it a try, since experimenting with learning styles and approaches is what makes me me. This app is free, which places some limits to the number of cards you can practice per day. It also has a paid version, which has no limits and no in-app advertising. What I particularly like about it is its simplicity, pretty interface. I mean, look at this mammoth, cutie pie. And of course, the materials it offers. You can go to the library and choose something from the variety of courses. Or you can add your own words and phrases. For example, let's take the same German word ausfüllen, its translation in English, and an example sentence. When working with the cards, you train not only your memory, but also your pronunciation, as you can pronounce the word and the app will check your accuracy. Oh, I almost forgot about this AI-based feature they offer to the learners. You can have a dialogue with Memo based on the cards you already have, or just type in whatever question you want over here. There are more apps to expand your vocabulary. I spoke about some of them in one of my previous videos. Check them out if you haven't yet. Are there any vocabulary learning apps that you would recommend? Please share your ideas in the comments. This method involves grouping words related to a specific theme or subject. By learning words in semantic clusters, you can create mental connections that make it easier to remember and use them. Let's dive into how you can use this approach effectively. Here's an example. Let's take the topic travel. Start by writing travel in the middle of your page. Then place all the words related to travel around the keyword. Let's see, passport, itinerary, boarding pass, luggage. Grouping these words together helps you see the connections and context in which they are used. To expand your vocabulary even more, you can dive deeper into each word. For example, under the word luggage, you can add extra words like suitcase, carry-on, baggage claim, Under itinerary, you may include schedule, route, destination. This creates a rich web of related terms that reinforce each of them. There are also apps or web tools like MindMeister or SimpleMind that allow you to create and organize word groups visually. Besides grouping words based on the topic they all represent, there is another effective approach to expanding your vocabulary: researching synonyms and antonyms of the new words you come across. This technique is particularly helpful when it comes to abstract nouns and adjectives. Let's take the word happiness as an example. Start by finding synonyms like joy, contentment, pleasure, or delight. Understanding these words and their subtle differences helps you express similar concepts in various ways. Next, look at antonyms. For the word happiness, you might find words like sadness, sorrow, misery, unhappiness. Learning these opposites not only expands your vocabulary, but also deepens your understanding of the original word. Digital tools like thesauruses can be incredibly helpful for this technique. Websites like Thesaurus or Merriam-Webster provide comprehensive lists of synonyms and antonyms. Now, a little task to shake things up. Can you think of the synonyms and antonyms of the word scared? Please write your lists in the comments. This method involves breaking words down into their roots, suffixes and prefixes to understand their meanings better. It's like solving a puzzle, and it significantly boosts your vocabulary. Let's see how it works. Take the word unbelievable. If we break it down, we have the prefix un, the root belief, and the suffix able. The prefix un means not. The root belief means to accept as true. And the suffix able means to be capable of. So, pulling it all together, unbelievable means not capable of being believed. But the most interesting thing about understanding the word parts is that you can create new words by yourself. Let's see. There is a verb separate. If something can be separated, it is separable. For example, this equipment has separable units. But if you want to say that something cannot be taken apart, you put the prefix in the beginning of the word. For example, this equipment has inseparable units. By mastering prefixes and suffixes, you can unlock the meanings of countless words and enhance your vocabulary significantly. Try breaking down new words that you encounter and see how many new terms you can understand. One of the most effective ways to learn new vocabulary is by studying words in collocations or phrases. Collocations are the words that frequently go together and sound natural and native-like. Learning vocabulary this way helps you understand how to use words in context, making your speech and writing more fluent. Here are some examples of common collocations. Verb and noun. Make a decision. Instead of learning just a decision, learn the phrase make a decision. Take a break. Rather than learning just take, learn the phrase take a break. Adjective and noun. For example, heavy rain. Strong coffee. Verb and preposition. Depend on, look after. By learning words in collocations, you not just learn the words themselves, but also how to use them in the sentence. This approach helps you avoid awkward and incorrect combinations of words. For example, saying make a decision is correct, whereas do a decision is not. But you know, nothing I have mentioned before, not a single technique will guarantee your progress unless you follow the most essential, in my opinion, rule. Spaced repetition is a learning technique that involves reviewing information at an increasing intervals over time. This method takes advantage of a psychological spacing effect, which suggests that information is more easily retained when study sessions are spaced out rather than crammed together. Here's how spaced repetition works for learning English vocabulary effectively. Initial learning. Begin by learning a new set of vocabulary. For each word, make sure you understand its meaning, pronunciation, and usage in the sentence. First, review. Review the words shortly after the initial training, ideally the next day. This helps reinforce the verbs in your short-term memory. Subsequent reviews. Gradually increase the intervals between learning sessions. Vocabulary apps are designed to schedule the reviews for you. If you use traditional flashcards, after you have created your cards, sort them into different piles based on how well you know each word. Review the ones you struggle with more frequently. Let's say you are learning the word benevolent. After the first review, you place it in Review in 3 days pile. If you still remember it after 3 days, it moves to the Review it in a week pile. And if you forget it, it goes back to Review tomorrow pile. Spaced repetition is the backbone of an effective vocabulary learning. It ensures that new words move from your short-term to long-term memory, making them easier to recall and use. Remember, no matter which approach you choose, flashcards, collocations, word parts, or any other, spaced repetition is what will make it all stick. That's it for today's video. I hope it was interesting and useful. Please let me know if you found some recommendation useful and are going to apply it to your learning routine. Thank you for being with me this time, and see you very soon.